Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This afternoon, Rory is going to seek out Magister Alexandre de Noffreye in order to get her advice on various different subjects he's been broaching over the past few days proper. Rory has been told that there has been a change in the Hermetic Chantry. So, when you get to the large old building just outside Trinity College, that used to be the residence of the Hermetic Chantry, you've been told to go in through the front door, and you'll know what to do from there. It was rather vague.
Rory goes to the old chantry, goes to the front door, and hopes it makes itself clear.
The door is closed, and it looks as if the building is abandoned.
Rory decides not to go with what the Magister herself would do, which would probably be smash open the doors or incinerate something, and instead opts to knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. As you knock on the door itself will swing open.
He steps inside. Thank you.
There is nothing inside. You will see occasional bits of furniture that appear to have been covered in tarpaulin, and all of the finery has been removed. There are no lights on, save for one crack of light under one of the doors leading off to the left.
He heads for that light, like a moth to the flame.
Okay. The door itself is new. This door wasn't here the last time you were in the Chantry. It appears to be a large security-looking door.
He knocks on that door too.
Okay. A small slit will open at roughly eye level. And you will see an older man standing behind the door. And he will say, "Who are you?"
I'm Rory. House Marinita, Adept. Here to see the Magister. Hi, Magister Crenshaw.
That's not Magister Crenshaw.
Oh, never mind then. Take that out.
I don't play Magister Crenshaw. Anthony does. You will hear a number of click, 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 crack, crack, crack noises as locks are being undone, and the door will slide open.
Thank you very much.
As Rory walks through the door, it will feel like... I take it you've seen those movies where you have comically long slides?
Slides?
Like, sliding down a slide, like going from point A to point B, kind of like in old ruins or in places where people happen to slide down an immensely long slide.
Like a slide or a pole? Like a slide, like a children's slide?
Not like a children's slide, more like a water slide.
Okay.
Basically, you get the same feeling. Your legs are knocked from under you, and you kind of are shot down into the darkness. You can't really see anything on either side. Yeah, it is kind of really fun.
He puts his arms up, and he's really enjoying it.
Until thunk thunk, both of your feet hit the ground. Rather hard stone underfoot. It doesn't hurt. It sends kind of a shockwave up there. But you find yourself in what appears to be a sequence of what seems to be a long cave or natural earthen structure. In the sense, you can see the bare rock, and you can see the bare rock and the lichen growing on the walls. There is a large fireplace that has been set up where there is a fire crackling away, surrounded by bookshelves and comfy chairs. As you see, Magister de Noffreye kind of kicked back, kind of with one of her legs kicked up over one of the chairs, with a book in her hand and drinking a cup of what appears to be cocoa.
Hi, Magister.
She will raise a single finger as she clearly is finishing reading the page in the book she's reading.
Okay.
It'll take her about 20 seconds. She will then close the book. She will then put the page, put the page marker in. Very slowly close the book, leave it down on the table. We'll turn. Good afternoon, Adept.
Afternoon, Magister. I just wanted to report back to you as instructed, and and tell you how that meeting with the technocracy went, and share some thoughts that hopefully might be useful to you.
She'll kind of gesture to one of the large chairs.
All right. So I'll just give you everything I can in an abbreviated way. Stop me if you have any questions.
She will quirk an eyebrow. She sips cocoa.
So it was at the hotel. There was it was like an anti-sanctum. They had some sort of device that made magic much more difficult. We didn't use magic, but...
Oh, the technocrats call it a static reality field generator. It's like a paradigm ward, but it enforces their paradigm and makes what they perceive as reality deviancy nearly impossible. They're quite hard to make if it helps.
Sorry, what did you say out of here?
He said they're quite hard to make if it helps.
Yeah, so they had one. There were 3 of them there. 2 of them were nasty, and 1 of them was nice. There was Dr. Z.
Oh, sorry, she'll say, you know that the nice one is probably the most dangerous of the lot of them, right? I don't need to tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at least he was nice. I mean, like, you know, I'm sure he would think whatever is justified in the greater good. The otherwise were just outright hostile. I think they were out and out sadists.
Oh, you've met the technocracy then. Excellent. Continue.
Yes. So we met the director, Dr. I spoke for everyone after we had a little powwow outside before we came in. Cornelius helped. Oh, my uncle gave me a guy, a giant Irish wolfhound.
Mazel tov. Continue.
Thank you. Dr. Z is the director. Mr. Coltrane was the nice one. He's nearly as senior as she is, but he's not in charge. And then there was a woman who apparently used to be like an Aetherite and went back to the technocracy. And Jackie really didn't like seeing her, and they had some words.
Yes, but then again, you're forgetting Jackie's a moron.
Yes. Anyways, that was her name was Dr. O'Cullen, Dr. something with an M. Marjorie, Maeve.
Out of character, it was Moira.
Yes, but I have absent-minded.
Oh yes, that's fair.
You chose it for me. I'm trying to play it.
That's
Something
fair.
with an M. I feel like there's an O in there. It will come to me later. Anyways, so there we shared information. The technology is all it is technomancy, but it's hermetic.
The eyebrow goes up. What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, I had been operating under the assumption that the group doing this was mixed magi and enlightened scientists, but apparently at least it's the technology they're using is not it's not what the technocracy called enlightened science. It's pure technomancy, and it's hermetic paradigm. I guess. They had some interesting thoughts about how it was going to be powered. Let me try to remember. There was I can't remember that right now. It'll come to me. So they're proposing a truce. I said I'd get back to them once we had to take it back. If that's incorrect out of character, please tell me. But I believe that's what we said.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a number to call them. And then I told them that the dead, Wrinkle told us that if we weren't able to avert it, it would occur as the bell struck midnight, then the new day on the New Year's Eve, right? And then Dublin would be winked out of existence.
There's a reason the Chantry is currently located 115 miles away from Dublin.
Oh, cool. 7 league stride. Very neat. It's always something I wanted to learn. In any case, I said, why don't we also talk about it? I said, if we do a truce, we should also have a few days afterwards.
I will warn you that the technocracy may keep to their bargain while it suits them. However, do not assume that they will give you the truce afterwards. As a matter of fact, it would not surprise me if there is a joint expedition. The moment they find out that we are in the clear, they'll immediately attack.
Yeah. Well, in that case, let's have the shorter truce then afterwards, assuming we're successful. I leave it up to you to communicate what you you can tell me what you want, and I'll convey it to them.
Right. So wait, what were they telling you about the power systems?
Some sort of premium generator.
Is this Rory can't remember or Sam can't remember?
This is Sam, actually.
They talked about what they called a solar confinement capsule.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they talked about something called a solar confinement. That's what it was. It was a solar confinement capsule, and one of the Egon. I don't know if that's his actual name, but
his name's actually
Lockhart.
His name's Alan Lockhart. Yeah.
Yes, but he reminded me of Egon from the Ghostbusters. Anyways, he had some sort of discussion about Dyson swarm. I don't know if that means anything to you. That didn't to me. Thought you'd want to know. And basically, it's not going to be. It wouldn't be stable. So I said maybe that's by intention. Like maybe it's not an oversight. Maybe that's an intention, and that's how they're intending to break time. So everyone said that was interesting.
The issue, Apprentice, in order to give you a bit of history, the Order of Hermes has held a piece of this clock for a very long time. The artifact that was recovered from you see, when Atlantis was destroyed, it was destroyed by a massive paradox backlash, the likes of which the world has not seen. It caused the tides to rise up and smash the city out of oblivion, or rather, that was the story. As a matter of fact, what happened was the city was sundered into many pieces and split across the Umbra in a gigantic fuselage of... Essentially, think about the city being loaded into a cannon and shot like grape shot into the Umbra.
Okay.
We found some of the clock pieces. Well, to be frank, we found one clock piece. And we did, and sometime later, this is approximately the year 1300 AD, and we located it and we placed it in the vault. the power requirements for the clock itself were absolutely immense. According to the most ancient writings we could find, the original power component for the clock was the heart of the dead titan Kronos, which was obliterated during the first time the clock was used, and even it didn't generate enough power, which is why the temporal event wasn't sufficient. Are you following me?
Yes. Ish.
Okay. It's long and complicated, and it deals with a lot of metaphysics and etc.
Not my strong suit.
Yes. Yes. So, but if they could harness, do you know what a solar inclusion panel, a solar capture soldier capture panel is?
They explained it to me, but maybe you could explain it again.
They basically, they either trapped or they made a star, and put it into a tiny star, and put it into a confined capsule in order to draw energy from.
Yeah.
Let's phrase it like this. Have you ever seen a nuclear blast?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine trillions upon trillions upon trillions of those.
Yeah, confined into a very small spot.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that is what they think is being used. But their scans can't detect it either.
No.
They tried twice.
It's because the clock isn't somewhere or somewhen. Because the clock itself exists outside of time as a component of the clock. Do you understand me?
Not really, no, but I don't think I'm going to.
Excellent.
Okay, what else was there? Whatever we've been doing with respect to that plague thing has apparently been effective because Dr. O'Cullen was very pissed off. And Dr. Z was wanted reparations. And I said, that's politely. Cornelius helped me a lot with wording things. That was stupid because we're going to be back to killing each other shortly anyways once this greater threat is dealt with.
Well, on the bright side, at least we're not all going to start vomiting blood up through our nostrils.
Well, I don't know that it's dealt with permanently. They gave the name of the guy in charge of the project, Dr. something German. There's a lot of Germans here in Ireland with the technocracy. Dr. Z is German too.
Have you been to Germany? It's kind of a technocratic stronghold.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Same with Scandinavia. We don't know why. But continue.
He gives the name, which I don't remember out of character. It's Dr. Hoffen.
No, we actually changed it because people are having difficulty pronouncing it. It was Dr. von Grons.
Yes, Dr. von Grons. It was Dr. von Grons. He is upset. Dr. Cullen was also working on it, as I said. She, by the way, knows where the Griffin Club is and all that stuff.
Oh, well, to be fair, I think they know where the Griffin Club is as well. They already tried to murder a whole bunch of you there at one point.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should move it. The tea was lovely. Anyways, I have a number I can call for resources from the technocracy if needed, but there's no guarantee they'll be given. Mr. Coltrane is English.
Is that all you wish to tell me, apprentice?
Well, no, adept, magister.
Okay, whenever she calls you apprentice, just replace it mentally with adept, because everyone's going to keep doing it.
Okay, sorry, no problem. There's a few other things too. So, one, I had a thought. I was speaking with Liam.
I'd just like to point out before you begin. Did it hurt?
Yes, it was very painful. That's why I try not to do it too often.
Mm-hmm.
Action without thought. Hope for the best. But no, I was speaking with Liam and Jackie last night, and
Before you ask the question you're going to ask, do you have politics?
I have jack of all trades. So
That'll
yes. Roll that.
If you'd like to roll intellect, then.
Sure. I'll spend willpower.
Okay.
Well, I botched. No, I failed because of the willpower. The willpower was a very good decision.
No, you still succeed with one success.
Oh, okay.
Hong Kong did it wrong. You automatically always succeed with one success if you spend a willpower.
Oh, okay. So one success.
Okay. You were going to suggest the plan of summoning up someone's ghost, weren't you?
Yes.
Well, your politics role, Denofrier was his apprentice. So asking to summon her master's ghost might be a very touchy subject.
Okay. I'm still going to do it.
Okay. I gave you the warning.
No, you did, and I'm just going to hope my sanctity and high charisma pull me through this. I am sweet and innocent, and I'm just trying to think of everyone.
God dang it. Okay, do your thing.
Magister, I hate to bring it up. I really, because I understand that it would be it's a very sensitive subject. But the lives of millions of people are at stake, and he looks at her. Is there a way we can communicate with Master Getz?
Metz, for the record, is his name. M-E-T-Z.
Sorry, Metz.
She will kind of put down the mug of cocoa, and she will say, Master Metz is dead. Or Magister Metz is dead.
Yeah. But he might have left a ghost. Or like a psychic impression or something.
She gives you a look that is one part sadness, 2 parts anger. And she says, her voice still controlled, do what you feel you must. As you said, the city is at stake. But if you desecrate the memory of my master, there will not be enough of you left to fill a snuff box.
Understood.
She will then stand up and turn her back on you, clasp her hands behind her back.
Okay. On that subject, too, do you want us to keep this internal to the order? I mean, if the person behind this is hermetic.
If the person behind this is hermetic, they've turned their back on our teachings, our traditions, and everything that we swore to uphold and sanctify. Unfortunately, we cannot simply keep this in a house. We don't have the necessary... She contemplates. Neither myself nor Magister Croshaw possess the correct powers and or abilities to do what it is you require, so we will have to look to the other traditions.
Okay. The other thing is there a way of tracking items that went out of the vault, particularly that fragment of the clock?
There should be, apprentice. However, those spells were nullified.
Interesting. What about ways of finding a warded area?
She contemplates. Look for something that's not there.
That's what I'm talking about. What's the best way to do that?
Well, it depends. If I was to ward, say for example, I wish to ward something so no one would know. I wish to ward it against people scrying the area, or I wish to ward it more exactly against, say, somebody knowing how many people were in a house. So, let us say I wish them to think there were a great many more people in the house than there were. I would create that impression. And if somebody was then to look over the area, they would see the bubble that my ward represented with the given number of people inside that I wish them to see. So as opposed to there being 3 people inside, I could make them think there were 30, so they will be less inclined to attack the house. Do you understand? But that would be a bubble that they are seeing. And that bubble would not change until that bubble pops. So, if this is a time ward, we're talking about a ward in time to make it look like time is flowing where it's not, then surely the time around it would be a mirror of the time that surrounds the area perfectly, as in there would be no deviation. Essentially, it's as if they are covering, as I say, the bubble with the time that surrounds the area, so there would be no subtle difference. There would be no inert change. It would be identical.
But there'd have to be something to look for. What, a power source, maybe? Or an enchantment? It's the enchantment itself?
You'd have to know what you were looking for. Possibly. It would be a very powerful effect. To be fair, it depends on how powerful the warding is, but if these people are as intelligent as we seem to think they are, the effect would be quite powerful.
Yeah. Okay, out of character, just remind me, was Metz the student or the teacher? No, I know that she was D'Onofrio's teacher, but to the person who we suspect now, were they the student? Was Metz the student or was Metz the master?
Metz was the student.
Okay. Magister, could you tell me about Magister Metz's mentor?
She kind of cocks her head to the side. I actually have a question because I don't know the answer to this. When did House Teague meld into House Veditius?
Oh, I can answer that. That's actually quite recent. That was in Revised.
I mean, more what year was it?
Let me check what year the order. Here, hold on. I can tell you. I've got the book open. Flip. Original Masters. Mm, 1999.
Oh yeah, in that case, he would be House Teague. He will say you are speaking on Alexander Beck or Alexandros Beck, depending on who you wish to. He was a master mage from House Teague, rather well respected around the turn of the century for his contemplations. He had several conversations with the likes of Albert Einstein as it pertained to physics and was rather adept at the use of cosmological constants and such in his magic. I never met the man. He died sometime during World War II, I believe.
I don't think he died.
No,
what did you say his name was?
He most assuredly died.
Out of character, what was his name? Alexander
or Alexandros, depending on how you wish to pronounce it, Beck.
The notes here. What if he died in one iteration but was brought back, or he had multiple iterations or multiple bodies?
You misunderstand me, child. He underwent the worst punishment a mage can endure before his death.
Gilgul?
She'll nod her head.
If the records aren't sealed, for what?
She'll contemplate. He enabled mankind to do something that mankind at the time were not ready to do, in defiance of the council.
Nuclear weapons?
There's another, well, she'll kind of contemplate. She'll say, the splitting of the atom, but yes. And so the deaths of tens of hundreds of thousands were on his hands. The council forbade him do this, but he did so in defiance of them. He was sentenced to tribunal.
Did he have other apprentices?
He wasn't ridiculously old when he died. I'm led to understand that Metz was his only apprentice. Though it was intimated the two of them were, she contemplates, close.
Intimate? Yes. Magister, I'm going to be blunt. I think this is part of the puzzle. In terms of whoever is doing this, whoever did that to Magister Metz, that was personal.
I can assure you, though, Magister Beck lost his life at the hands of Gilgul. Well, rather, he was Gilgul and then was given the option to live his life as a mortal and chose death.
We were attacked the other day by someone dressed like a technocratic operative and armed with premium weapons. but I don't think they were not a technocrat. There was an amulet. They had a watch or a timepiece, and it basically would have brought them back to life as they were previously, until we interrupted that. That's when Wrinkle showed up. I killed the woman. He looks really sad at that. And they nearly, they dangerous. Magi, I think, because she was invisible when she walked up to Jackie and shot him in the head at point blank. And then everything disappeared. It winked out of existence as if it was never there. All the wounds she had caused disappeared. When we interrupted the magic from the timepiece.
For the record, she's had her back to you this entire time.
Yeah.
She kind of puts her hand on the chair.
Yeah.
And her voice, which had been very, very stern, and you know the voice of the teacher chastising a student, becomes much softer. And she says, "You were defending your friends. Ultimately, blood spilled, we can never wipe away. But the fact that we do it for the cause that we do it for means that we are not monsters."
Yeah. I'm trying telling myself that. And, we're trying to protect people. Like, anyways, I think there's something here. It's going to take someone of significant power and skill and subtlety to pull off something like this. It would have to be someone who at least knew about that vault, and probably had access to it. And technomancy and hermetic, there's only a few options there generally. It's the old Tig, or Verdicious, which they merged into, or Zaus. Or I guess you could do, was it Luxor? What's their name? Sorry, just give me a second. I'll just remember all the... Scopos.
Who the fuck are Scopos?
They're in House X Miscellanea with us. They're interesting. It's just a single master, his daughter, and a former Aetheryte who joined them. Something about quantum something or other.
Actually, you know what? That was totally D'Onofrio saying, "Who the fuck are Scopos?"
Yes.
She'll once again say, "Here, you see," she'll take off a necklace that hangs around her neck, and she'll throw it over her shoulder at you.
He catches it nimbly.
It has the pyramid and the all-seeing eye on it.
Okay.
When Magister Metz, when I ceased being Magister Metz's apprentice, he gave that to me. If you need something that has a common cause or a link to him, that'll be it.
What matter of man was he? I'd like to talk with him, and not. I don't want to command him. I want to feel Yield to him.
I awoke. She contemplates. When I awoke, my parents died in the fire I created in the moment of my awakening. It was a very long time ago. Well, it seems like a very long time now. Magister Metz was the kindest man I'd ever known. He chose me from a pool of dozens to be his apprentice, and he knew nothing but kindness. He was brave, if stubborn, compassionate to the point of fault, and believed more so than anything that we had to win the war that we're fighting for the good of all mankind. He was a good man, and I miss him deeply and dearly. That's the reason I chose to take this assignment, because I was damned if the city he helped to protect would fall to those bastards.
He smiles sadly. Well, we won't let that happen, Magister. It'll all work out in the end.
She'll nod. Now then, apprentice, I'm tired. Leave me be, please.
One last question, and then I'll leave you. Magister, I'm sorry.
What is it?
Did either Magister Beck or Magister Metz or Master Beck master time or have significant ability with it?
Both of them did.
All right. And is it possible that Master Beck had a child?
I don't know the answer to that, apprentice.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Magister. Sorry to disturb you. I'll return this to you if I'm able.
You see her head kind of slump as you leave, and you could almost swear you hear the sound of faint crying.
He goes and gets a bottle of something and puts it near her and just kind of quietly backs away and leaves.
Okay. With that, are you happy for me to end the scene?
Yep. Oh,
thank you, player. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask her about the Fae thing later.
No worries. I'd sense that now might not be the best time to ask her.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. We wish you a pleasant evening.